Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. I'm going to look at the 1212 portal now. I'm doing this right around 1212. I actually had to get a cup of coffee at 1212, so this is my 1212 cup of coffee. So what I'm going to do is we're going to look at a little bit of numerology, some astrology, to make some connections, and then we're going to do the reading on the 1212 portal to see what the tarot cards have to say to us. So let's jump right in. Let's jump right in. Okay. I'm a jumping. I'm a jumping. All right. And we're going to start. We're going to see it just a little bigger. All right, so we're in the 1212 portal, 1212, 2023 at 12:12 p.m. I could have done it at 12:12 a.m. this morning because I could not sleep for life nor something nor money, love nor money, could not sleep. And I know that it's part of the energetic portal energy that we're experiencing now. So let's take a look and see. So what I've done is I've erected a chart for 12/12, 2023 at 12:12 p.m. And I gave it an Aries rising because I wanted to apply to everybody and not just uh, where I live or America or whatever. So we're just looking at it from an archetypical point of view. Now, one of the things I want to point out is that when we add the vibration of 12/12, 2023 together, we get a 31/4 vibration. The 31/4 vibration in the system that I use is associated with the Five of Wands. Now, the Five of Wands, when somebody's doing a card reading, can come up sometimes as partisanship. Sorry, I need more coffee. It can be a chaotic energy. It's an energy of quite a bit of creativity. This card is actually associated with the sign of Leo, which is creative self-expression, and the planet Mars, which is action. So what I've done is I've looked to see where Mars is in this chart, and we can see Mars is up here, sort of bringing up the rear of what will eventually become a new moon in Sag. Yes, the 12/12 portal actually falls on the new moon in Sag, which in itself, 12/12 portal, powerful. New moon in Sag, powerful. New moon in Sag conjunct Mars, powerful, right? The vibration of the day is a Mars vibration, powerful, in conjunct Uranus here, okay? In conjunct Uranus. Probably the tightest of all aspects to the new moon is an in conjunct to Uranus. So we know whenever Uranus is involved that things can happen suddenly, sudden changes, sudden realizations, but because it's an in conjunct, it's going to require us to change the way we feel or the way we experience or the way we think about or even our own philosophy of life. There is something that is going to help to shift us, although it may not feel like help, in order to align with a belief that is in alignment with the people that we are in the process of becoming. So I also wanted to take a look at, let's just generally look at what's going on at this time with this portal, besides the new moon in Sag, with Mars sort of bringing up the rear. And we're going to look at Mars and we're going to look at the Sabian symbol, which is over here on the right side of this. But let's just look at the astrology. Of course, we have the sun and moon in Sag. We have Mars in Sag. The ninth house is our beliefs. It's truth. It's what we believe to be true. Sometimes it can create a spiritual crisis of sorts or a crisis in consciousness. We have Pluto here at the 29th degree of Capricorn, ready to move into the last degree of Capricorn and then eventually out of Capricorn completely, revisiting it from September to November of 2024, and then out of Capricorn for another 250 odd years. Actually, less than that, 240 something years. Okay. We have Saturn moving direct all the way back at the second degree of Pisces. And so it is moving forward. It's not going to reach this degree again for another 30 years. So, but it is moving forward. So we have Saturn at the beginning of Pisces. We have Neptune at the end of Pisces. This Neptune in Pisces is square the new moon. So that needs to be looked at. The square to the new moon for this is a crisis in, well, it actually hasn't reached crisis point when we have the new moon, but it's in the process of having a crisis in faith or a crisis in consciousness. This may require us to change our beliefs around something that we held as a truth that we find out is actually not a truth and perhaps a lie or a misrepresentation or a distortion. Okay. The north node of the moon is in Aries at this time with the south node in Libra. The north node is our direction forward. In Aries, it's about being you. Being you. You be you, and I be me. And then the south node in Libra asks us to let go of ways of relating that take our power away from our own ability to be uniquely who we are. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to be who you are in spite of somebody else or against somebody else. It has nothing to do with anybody else. It has to do with you. Okay? Aries is the energy of the I am. We are all part of the I am. There's a whole process of utilizing the energy of I am to create the world that you live in. It's creative self-expression. It's creative imagination. But it's about aligning with your true self, not with who you think you're supposed to be, but sort of a soul deep, who are you really? Okay. We have Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus, Jupiter towards the beginning of Taurus, Uranus moving, well, not towards the end. It still has another 10 degrees to go through Taurus here. But it's interesting that we have the social planets, Saturn, and the transpersonal planet, Neptune, sort of acting like parentheses in the sign of Pisces. And then we have Jupiter and Uranus sort of working like parentheses in the side of Taurus. Taurus and Pisces get along, right? How do we bring compassion down to earth, right? In a way, this chart is a plea for compassion, okay, and perspective. Now, let's look at Mars. Mars in this chart is at 14 degrees of at 12:12. On 12:12, at 12:12 p.m., Mars is at 14 degrees of Sag. When we have the Sag new moon, which is occurring, I think, 6:32 p.m. on the East Coast today, Mars will still be at that 14th degree. So it applies for the 12:12 energy at 12:12, and it applies for the new moon energy as well. Because this is the vibration of the day, it makes it important. Now, Gabura is the place of instant karma. It is the place of severity. It is the place of the spiritual warrior. It is the place of the person who aligns or makes the adjustments necessary. What needs to be cut away in order to come to a greater sense of wholeness. Okay. 14 degrees of Sagittarius. The Great Pyramid and the Great Pyramid and the Sphinx, the enduring power of occult knowledge, and the quasi-divine custodians, seed men of previous cycles of existence. And the key word here is the power of spiritual ancestry. What does that mean? We are not simply here for this moment in this day, and this lifetime is the only lifetime. We have had numerous lifetimes, and some of those lifetimes have been connected to this occult knowledge, to these seed men, to previous cycles of existence. It is important at this time, as we are on the precipice of a new world, literally, that we remember who, not only who we are, but who we've been, and to take that energy and to bring it forth, because we're all, as 2024 starts to unfold before us, we're going to be asked to utilize our power, our understanding of who we are, our uniqueness, not who other people think we need to be, but who we are in the core of ourselves. Okay. And that's what it's going to require for us to move through the next year. And this is sort of pointing to that. So I want to just do one last thing, and then we'll look at the cards. The 12 vibration is the Hanged Man. So we have 12-12, that's Hanged Man, Hanged Man. And then we have a 7 universal year, which I've talked about all year, Know Thyself. Okay. So this vibration is not simply, it's a know thyself vibration, but it's also an ability to be connected to cosmic consciousness. The Hanged Man represents the suspended mind. The Hanged Man immerses himself in water, an element of deep understanding. On this path, the hangman must experience the dissolution of former patterns to evolve, letting go of that which no longer aligns with the person you are in the process of becoming. On this path, I said that, here we reconsider our relationship with the outer world by running it through our inner filters in connection with the great cosmic sea of consciousness. This Hanged Man is connected to cosmic consciousness. Right? He has no choice. He cannot move. He must connect with spirit. We are forced to see things from a different perspective. Very Sagittarius in a way, as Sagittarius is the sign of perspective. Here, the mind becomes a clear, receptive vehicle operating with pure, unfettered, and unclouded universal mind, a time of suspension of thought and action. So if things don't make sense to you, look at them from a different perspective. If things continue to be beyond your ability to feel like you're doing enough or to change or whatever it is, connect to cosmic consciousness, let go and let God. This vibration, this card, this on the tree of life is connected to Gebura and Hod. Now let me go back and show you where this sits on the tree of life, just so you can see it. If I can find my little cursor. I lost my cursor again. Oh, curse you. Oh, wrong direction. Ah, of course. I find it, but then I'm in the wrong direction. The path that I speak of, the 12 path, sits here. The 7 sits here. This is in the pillar of the future. We are creating the future in the present moment. This path here, the 7 path, know thyself. This path, the 12-3 path, connects with cosmic consciousness. This is a Saturn energy, this is a Mars energy, and this is a Mercury energy. Mercury is stationed. It's going to go retrograde tomorrow. So it is standing still at this 9th degree of Capricorn, also an important degree. Okay. You can check out the Sabian symbols on that. I did not pull that up. But all the vibration is sitting in this pillar of the future, the feminine. This is the pillar of the feminine. It's also the pillar of severity. And so it does require us to narrow our focus, narrow our focus. And remember who we are, who we've been, and moving into the future with a knowing that everything is as it needs to be for us to move forward from this point. We are in perfect timing, guys. Even though you look outside your window and you look at the news and you look at all this stuff and you're like, the world's gone crazy. Yes, it has. The power is within. The power is within each individual to shine their light. And if you're not in a war zone, and if you're not in a place where there's something, I mean, even in a war zone, you can shine your light, but usually you're just trying to like escape from horror, right? But for those of us who aren't, it's so very important for us to shine the light of love and understanding. Sagittarius ultimately is about perspective, opening your view to see how others live and ultimately become accepting of others and their beliefs. It's not just about what you believe, but everybody has the right to believe what they believe. The issue comes when what action is being taken on behalf of those beliefs. That's where the issue comes. When you can believe anything you want, but when you put the energy of Mars behind it and take an action, that's when you create the karma for it, right? So you need to know, make sure you're aligned before you take the action. And what's going to happen is eventually Mars is going to go over that new moon degree, which I don't actually know when that is. Or do I? Let me see. I think I might be able to look at it here. Just let me check, make sure I'm in the right year. I am not in the, oh, here we go. I will tell you when Mars will go over that degree. So we're looking at the 21st degree of Sag. Oops. Excuse me, one moment. Look here. So Mars will be going over this degree. December 23rd. So we should see something begin to manifest as Mars goes over the degree of that new moon. Okay, that's that. Let's stop that share now. And let's do a card reading. I'm going to be using the Spellcasters deck because I happen to have it right here. And we'll see what the cards say. We're going to do a Celtic cross for this. Okay. What do we need to be aware of as we face this 12-12 portal? As we are in the 12-12 portal. Portals are doorways to higher dimensional frequencies. We're moving through, we're evolving through this doorway. It's not always this intense all times, but it has been intense for a long time. And you might wonder, well, when are we going to finally get to just like kick back and enjoy our lives? Well, I'm not sure. But I do know that things are going to look very different by the end of 2024 than they look right now. Okay. All right, let's see what we have. We start with the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is a card about building, protecting your foundations. It's a foundational card. There can be some greed around this energy or not wanting to share what you have. But it's really about stabilizing your foundation. So we're being asked to stabilize our foundations. What's challenging that? The end of a cycle. So I said, we are at a point where something's coming to an end and a new beginning, the 21-3. So the challenge is, how do you keep your stability while the whole world is shifting and changing? Let's see what's underneath it. By the Knight of Pentacles. This is about protecting what you've already sown. What seeds have you sown? And standing guard over those seeds, okay? And tending to them. Make sure that the seeds that you have planted are being watered and tended to. And, just like any crop, you want to make sure there's like no bugs eating them or things like this is metaphorical, right? So things that can eat away, or just ignoring, or having to organize yourself in such a way that you will have enough, say, water and things to nurture the seeds of your creations here. In the past, yep, the end, utter downfall. Something has come to an end. Something has come to an end. It's a realization that the way we thought about something no longer applies. In the sky, the moon. This speaks of things coming up from beneath the surface, feelings, emotions. This is going to be at a very emotionally fraught time. We have to be aware that there are things that we do not know about ourselves that will come up at this time. Part of it has to do with the past and your past lives, but some of it also has to do with emotional issues. Knowing that that's up in the sky, that people are going to be in that kind of place. And depending on how well integrated they are, how well they understand who they are and what they're feeling, and the reasons for that is going to depend on how well they respond to it. Not everybody, and even ourselves, we don't always know. But understand that whatever comes up, there's something underlying it that needs to come up to the light of day. In the immediate future, we have the Judgment card. This is the awakened soul. We are waking up to the truth that we are souls having a human experience, that we can ascend. This is an ascension. This is an ascension, and it's an ascension to a new level of understanding, more connected to the soul. And also, it's a two. We're in the 2000s now, 2020s now, right? But two is about the other. It's about I and thou. And we have to learn how to live with each other. We have to learn how to be a partner, because what we see in somebody else is a reflection of what we see in ourselves. And if we don't like what we're looking at, we don't like ourselves. And at some point, we have to come to the realization that love within and love without, right? How it's seen from the outside, the time is here for us to make a decision. Which direction are we going to go? Our domestic situation. Yeah, there's a lot of scoundrels out there. We're going to have to be very, very circumspect. Again, there's this energy of protection here, right? We need to protect ourselves from the lies and the lying liars that tell the lies. Hopes and fears, loving, compassionate, nurturing male energy. Outcome, dominion, the emperor, becoming the captain of your own ship. This is about dominion. It's an Aries vibration. Underneath it, we have love, the lover's choice, the Knight of Cups. This is offers of love, and the Two of Wands moving through this portal. See, the guy is here. He's taking a rest before he moves through the portal that he's created with his wands. Listening for the right time. So it's not going to be easy peasy, what this is saying, but we need to be aware of who's lying to us and who's not. We need to be aware of the seeds we have planted and that they get nurtured. And we have to wake up to the fact that we are part of a greater whole, the judgment card. We are rising up from the dead to a new life because the old ways are done. I hope you find this helpful. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. If you enjoy this kind of work, if you want to support me, you can give me a thumbs up or a like. I guess that's the same thing. Or share me if you'd like. I do have a Patreon page if you'd like to support me in a more monthly way. If you'd like to do that. Otherwise, I will see you again for the next portal, which is 1-1. So that'll be the next portal reading. Let's see, that's 1-1 in an 8-year. So that's a 10. That's the Wheel of Fortune. Things are changing, guys. But until then, we still have quite a bit to move through. And let's do it with as much compassion and heart as we can, loving self first, and then extending that to others. You must put the oxygen mask on yourself first at this time, which is always true anyway, but especially now. Especially now, make sure that your foundations are firm and that they're protected as you move through this very, very challenging time when the old structures are falling away and the new is yet to be born. Take care, everyone. Namaste.